So one of the most important things that Shiba Inu can have is activity. Volume is good. Volume moves the charts, and activity from all groups of Shiba Inu holders is an important thing. And what's interesting is that over the last 24 hours, we hit an amazing amount of activity of a certain group that we have not seen since all the way back on February 4th when they bought very heavily. And what we're going to talk about is what that looks like in relation to SHIB price on the near term. But we need to also talk about this major hurdle that Shiba Inu is going to be facing in the short term as well. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So just looking at Shiba Inu right now, it's still only 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to be on a plane for the early part of the day just to give you guys kind of a little bit of an idea why I'm doing these so early. But what we're seeing is a little spark of activity. We saw SHIB again breach past my alerts here again. So we're looking good, at least at the start of the day. And hopefully this is something that progresses as the day goes on. But we saw a lot of activity for Shiba Inu over the last 24 hours, the levels of which we have not seen even since the early part of March. We actually eclipsed $500 million in daily trading volume over the last 24 hours. That's where we were most of the day. And we've not eclipsed that for quite some time. And that's the reason why volume had fallen and gotten so low and there wasn't much movement in terms of price. And basically we had this big, long discounted opportunity. It's because you had this group of people that were unwilling to sell, but you also had the groups of people throughout the crypto space that were unwilling to buy. It's why the market just seemed flat, especially the last week where essentially nothing was going on. So volume and upticks in activity are good because they can be movers of price. And what really got interesting over the last 24 hours is we saw massive activities from large holders. In fact, we saw 164 large volume transactions. These are these transactions that are $100,000 or more. And this is the highest amount of transactions we have seen since all the way back here on February 4th. So yes, the large entities are getting more active. A lot of them are accumulating and holding for the longer term. Now, that being said, we did have a whale unload day yesterday. It was about a 300 billion Shiba Inu unload day. It still is vastly small compared to the amount of accumulation they have done over these last 3 months. And again, it's a good sign nonetheless, because what we're seeing is some speculators step in and try to accumulate at these times and take advantage of short-term moves. And what you want to see from Shiba Inu is, even as that's ongoing, you want to see SHIB continue to take these steps like it's doing. So we're firing on all cylinders right now. We're looking actually very good for the most part in terms of SHIB. Now, what I will say is that we do have a very big hurdle ahead of us. And this is actually this range between 4015 and 4019, which is actually all the way up here. Now, why I'm saying this is a hurdle is if you guys take a look, this is where you see, if I could scroll, which I can't scroll, this is where you see a large amounts of global in and out of the money addresses. Okay. So this is 135,000 addresses that basically accumulated 531 trillion Shiba Inu in this range of 4015 through 4019. So this is where you actually start to see a complete compositional change in terms of Shiba Inu holders. And why I'm saying this is we're currently at the spot where only about 43% of SHIB holders are in or at the money. That takes us over 50%. That is a big psychological barrier. We already crushed one psychological barrier, which is 4014, but this is the next big one. And this is where, again, you see the optimism surrounding Shiba Inu completely change. This is where people basically that were calling SHIB dead and saying it's not going anywhere, that's where they disappear and they go away completely. They get very quiet until SHIB's next drop, where, we make this big extension, we come down and we're kind of up in these ranges and people are like, oh yeah, SHIB's dead. It's like, what are you even talking about? Hopefully people are starting to piece this together, right? So that's the next big range that we need to tackle in terms of Shiba Inu. And I'm not saying this is going to happen today. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow or this week, but it can happen very quickly and very violently. The market is having these basically spurts of volatility because the bulls are starting to take over. They want the market to run. The market makers are doing actually a very good job of helping liquidate a lot of those short positions to the upside. Yes, we did face some long leverage liquidations yesterday, but you're starting to feel in a big way that monumental shift in the crypto market. And what I have to say for SHIB is I don't know if we talked about this or not, but there is actually a little bit of, again, this inverse head and shoulders that was playing out here. So just note that we're basically right at that neckline currently. Yes, we did have this breach all the way back here on March 2nd, but that's what SHIB's wanting to do right now. It's wanting to continue to basically print this reversal. It's wanting to make moves to the upside. And the big question is, will it? Do we continue to see these good fundamentals that we're seeing right now? Can this carry SHIB price higher? So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. What do you think we have ahead? Do we see more of these green days? Do we have a little bit of correction in the not so distant future? But have a great day. Show your love below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.